one of those days, huh?
What's wrong?
Nothing. I said it's just one of those days. Welcome, everybody. This is ORNOT podcast. I am your favorite big sister, Tasha Mack, and that is my absolute favorite little sister, my only sister, Danielle. Tell us who you are, although I just did.
Hey guys, I'm Danny, our little sister.
Let's see. So tonight's a pretty important night. Tonight we get to cover Lauryn Hill again in our series, which is something super exciting for myself. And my sister has kind of has become an inherited fan because of me. So please tune in if you're coming in. Say hello to us. We have special guests today, so that's like super important. I think I kind of scared my sister. I told her like how great they are, the guests, and she's like, "What? I'm not ready." I'm like, "It's okay. They wanted to talk with us too, so it's okay. Calm down. It's okay." So, I think we have hot topics today. It's on our itinerary, so hopefully Marquita will be here first or soon, and then we'll bring in our special guest. So, without further ado, how was your weekend?
That was okay. I went to play top golf yesterday. I did better than I've done before.
Oh,
yeah, I've done much better.
You were tapping into your inner tiger, or your inner Sugar Rogers. Did you feel like you were tapping into that? No,
neither. Actually, both of them are elite athletes, and I don't.
You don't put yourself in that category.
Oh no, I'm more of a joke.
Shut up.
It's true.
Yes. Oh, so Robert Royster wants to know, how did you do?
I did not do well, Robert. But I did better than I've done before. Like I was like making the one in the middle, and I like.
It must be hereditary because I suck at it. I don't do
well. So is it hereditary? I guess even with practice, you can get better at it.
That was a whole word. Look at you dropping gems.
Thanks. What did you do this week? Is that all I did?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all I did. Yeah. What'd you do? Oh yeah, you went out.
I did. Where'd I go? Oh, you can't. Look at Marquita's face. She's like, "Are we supposed to tell who we're talking with?" I went to dinner with the girls.
Okay.
That's what I did. I went to dinner with the girls. Yep. And grabbed some drinks. What did I do yesterday for Saturday?
I don't know.
It's like all a blur.
Y'all, nobody.
I don't know. Missing in action?
Yeah, you were.
I don't know what I did. I think I did a lot of sleeping. I enjoyed myself. I did some cleaning, I think. I don't know. I taught a class. I had a church orientation to go to.
Yeah.
Went to church today.
You taught a meditation class. Tell us about that.
I did teach a meditation class. No, that's fine. Well, I'll tell that first. I taught a meditation class last week, I guess. And it was a women's veteran group. Talk to them about meditation and my story, and then I taught them how to meditate. It was about a group of 10, I think 10 to 20. It was quite a few people up there, but it seemed to have impacted quite a few. So you know how I feel about that. I could check that off the box. If one person is impacted, then Tasha Mack has done her due diligence. So I was happy about that. And I don't have a lot of energy. I don't know why. I'm extremely exhausted. My sister told me that I needed to get it together before coming on to this show today. So this is not alcohol. This is a morning meditation from First Watch. And I know it's not morning, but it does have energy things that's going to help me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like turmeric and things like that. They give you energy. So I just wanted everyone to know if I was sipping, I wasn't sipping on something I wasn't supposed to be sipping on. It's actually healthy.
You're an adult. You can sip on whatever you like.
I am an adult. You're right. All right. So, in the sake of time and me feeling that this show is going to be amazing and it's going to be longer than usual, possibly, we're hoping. Oh, I did. I went shopping with my kid. Some people were reminding me what I did. So, I did shopping yesterday. In the sake of time, we want to make sure that we have enough time to break down today's series of Lauryn Hill Pieces of Me. Is going to be about the miseducation. Ta-da! Per my shirt, the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the album. So we'll actually be discussing the album. We'll break down some of the songs, of course, what it means to us, but what it also did to our culture. So I am extremely excited. Oh, we have a testimony. I love testimony. Testimony time. I absolutely enjoy the virtual meditation you held Friday morning. Come through, Crystal, with the promotion. Thank you. I forgot about that. I did start a new session thingamajiggy. Matt, you should join. Marquita, you should too. It's absolutely free. It's on Friday mornings. It's about 10 minutes long. It is super early, so you can do it in bed if you like. But it's a good way to set the intention for the weekend, to get your life together. And we're going to do it every Friday, all the time. Thank you, Crystal, girl. Look at Crystal. Yeah. Can you screenshot that or something so I can make that some content? Sure. So anyways, we're going to bring on our hot topics now a little earlier than usual. So Marquita, you might get kicked out a little earlier than usual. Just be prepared because, we like to do some kicking outing, and we don't mean that. But today we're trying to be a little ahead of the game. What
yeah. Should I run her commercial? We don't have time for that.
No, run her commercial. She deserves her commercial. Give her her flowers.
Give her her flowers.
Hey y'all. I would just like to say Fridays mornings, my eyes is already closed, but one day I might join the morning meditation. Who knows? Hey y'all, it's been a while, y'all. So
Well, yeah, you were out. You took some PTO last. Well,
I did.
Hold on.
Right.
It wasn't PTO because we don't pay you.
Right. It was FMLA because I didn't get paid, but I get to come back to my job. So it was FMLA.
We do offer FMLA here.
Here at ORNOT.
We offer FMLA. We just don't offer PTO.
or short and long-term disability. Whatever time you take off, you do not get paid for it. So I'm just gonna say it's FMLA.
Because we don't catch you up. We don't do meetings.
Right.
You just gonna have to come correct. I'm sorry.
You just gotta come back like you never left. And yet, here's why I'm here, guys.
So what you got for us? Who died? Who's
somebody did die, y'all. But I'm not really into country music. So it was Naomi Judd. She passed away.
The sisters.
Yeah.
We love the sisters. We love everybody that's a sister.
What?
So. Well, what's the one that was stealing? That's the one. No, y'all know I be knowing who had a T. I just be knowing the sister that be stealing. It was a sister that was stealing, y'all. I don't know who it was. Put in the comments who was stealing, y'all. Y'all know I ain't good with names. If you know which one of the sisters was stealing, put it in the comments. She did pass away. So RIP to her. They have not said what she passed away from. She was 76 years old. Yeah, it could have been a number of things, just time. It was her time to go.
That's crazy. I didn't know she was so old. I didn't know she was so old.
Yeah, I think they're getting up there.
Yeah, they've been in the game for a long time. Speaking of country music, who was at this daggone award? Monica was at the Country Music Awards, and somebody white had something to say. Don't even want to mention his name. I just know he was somebody white, and he was like, it had a black host, and Monica was there. And it was like, this is not Wakanda. And I just want to say to the people that love country music as much as they love country music, I want somebody put in the comments, where you think it came from? Whose skin color?
They said,
or there's somebody put it in the comments. I know they were stealing. It was Winona. She was the thief. She was the klepto, y'all.
The daughter Winona Ryder.
Yeah, she was in the news. She had a real.
Winona Ryder said that.
No, she was the one that was stealing. It was a judge that was stealing, girl. She was the judge that was stealing. I know that man that commented and said that the country music awards was in Wakanda. Hey, Tasha, you have your hands up. Did you know the answer, ma'am?
I had a question. Just a quick question. What was Monica doing at the awards?
Well, she was singing. I think this may be a new venture that she.
Monica start doing country.
Maybe she likes country music. What's wrong with that?
Well, she is a Southern belle. Monica is a Georgia peach now, so she's a Southern belle. So she could be coming over to a lot of. Right. Yeah, she got the voice for it.
That's not right.
We can't hear hood Monica all the time. She got to do something else, Tasha.
Yeah. She can't always talking about sideline hoes.
Exactly. We tired of Monica kicking down the doors and smacking your chicks. We want her to, you know what I'm saying, kick down some doors and get the eggs from the chicken. She might got something else different she want to do. She'll kick down your doors and milk your cows. We don't know what she want to do. It's Monica.
I'm just go ahead. I don't want to talk about it right now.
I just want to know, where do y'all think that country music came from? Why you talking about it's Wakanda? Y'all done whitewashed it. Now looking now, this ain't America now. You can't take everything for yours. Okay, white people, you can't do that no more. Over Easter weekend, because I got to take it all the way back to this, because it seems like this really isn't on anybody's radar. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this on y'all radar. Over Easter weekend, there was a photo shared of Zaya Wade kissing her friend. And so the internet kind of went up in a roar, like, she shouldn't be kissing, and she kissing another little boy. But then come to find out, that's not even what my issue is. Let me tell you what my issue is. My issue is that 14-year-olds ain't got no business on no damn internet kissing anyway. We kissed when we was 14 years old. Sorry, Miss Wanda, I don't mean to tell your children secrets. But
I didn't kiss when I was 14. I didn't have my first kiss till I was about 17.
So that's the thing. Well, that's the problem that I have with it. 14-year-olds ain't got no business on the internet in front of a camera kissing. We don't need to see that part. I don't care who was a girl and who was the boy and who was the boy and who was the girl, because apparently the internet was up in a roar that it was two boys, but actually come to find out it was another transgender child. So this child is in transition, is a girl that's in transition to become a boy. So really, it's really a boy and a girl kissing when we all boil down to it. The problem is they were 14-year-olds, and that's what I have a problem with, because first of all, unless you over my house, I don't need to be meeting your little boyfriend and girlfriends. Unless she came over for a damn Easter egg hunt, she need to be with her family on holidays. That's first of all. Like, y'all just don't want to break all the rules. Nobody should be meeting your parents in a holiday setting until y'all is grown and is engaged. And like I said, she came over there for an Easter egg hunt. Her and Zaya did.
Is it time?
What?
No, I was just going to say that I think that it's very important to say that we don't have a problem with the LGBTQ lifestyle. The problem is
we need a disclaimer. Go ahead, Tasha.
Or not disclaimer. Me and Marquita had discussed this topic that, I think that the problem is, and so I just wanted to make that a known factor, that we don't have a problem with the lifestyle. The idea is, would it be acceptable if it was a boy or a girl, or would it be you get what I'm saying?
It's still not acceptable.
Well, I don't think it is.
Right. It doesn't matter if it was a boy turned girl kissing a boy, it's still not acceptable. So I understand. I don't know if Marquita's. Are you good, Marquita?
Now everyone knows that I have a dog and a doorbell. Okay, y'all? Everybody knows it. I got a dog and I got a doorbell. Okay.
Well, at least you have a doorbell. I don't have one. And I don't have a dog, but I've had a couple and I gave them away. So there's that.
She's muting. So look, you literally have 2 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Give us what you got.
We're gonna talk about this. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all want Zaya to be a little girl. First of all, y'all need to tell her you need to man your edges when you want to be on camera, because y'all right here. Don't nobody care about y'all. I don't care about who want to be transgender, the LGBTQ. Like we said, we don't have no problem with that. When she want to get in the womanhood, she need to man her edges. And also, somebody need to tell her she is Zaya Wade, and you need to sign an NDA. Don't be around here kissing me and posting the picture, because the picture wasn't posted by nobody else but the little person that she was kissing. So somebody need to teach her about NDAs, because somebody now Zaya, you can't be around here kissing everybody on the internet. Your whole facts gonna go up, and we don't need your whole facts to start early. So somebody need to teach her about NDAs before we get around here and she kissing all these little boys and she only 14 years old, and then by the time she 20, we gonna think that she ran through. So somebody, be a lady. You want to be a lady. Right, you want to be a lady.
They were there and then they went away. So someone apparently was not policing the situation properly, and then the pictures were removed. So Marquita saw it hands on, and then when I went to go see it, they were gone. So I think we're kind of watching. I think that there's some leniency in that family because of Zaya's situation. In her coming into her womanhood, I'm assuming. So maybe there's some leniency there that possibly can cause more issues that we have to remember they're still kids. It has nothing to do with their sexuality. It has everything to do with the childhood and protecting their youth. Does that make sense? I think
exactly. That's the issue that I had with, like I said, the transgender and all of that stuff. That's not my issue. It's the fact that, you know what I'm saying, as children we should, and as parents we should practice some type of discreetness. I don't even know if that's a word, but discretion, that's what it is, with our children, and who they kissing and who they dating at 14 years old is really not none of the public's business. So that's why it shouldn't have been our business. But before I go, y'all, I know, I know we got a list, a do not contact list, and the Kardashians is on here, but I got to talk about this $130 million lawsuit that Black China think that she get ready to get from them. I do. Watch how quick. Yes, I do. Watch how quick this is. Black China, you're not getting $1.30 from the Kardashians family, because Rob is paying all the child care for his damn children, and you're not getting nothing from these Kardashians. They just get ready. The only thing you getting from these Kardashians is when we say they name, we gonna talk about you in this frivolous lawsuit that you got going on. So what you should have did was you should have sat on down and been with the boy and did what you were supposed to do and stop being money hungry for money. That was the only thing that I want to say. Somebody need to just go. They need to cancel this case. What is it when they cancel the case?
They're trying to.
Well, they're taking them. They're actually taking them off of So Kim recently received a win because they actually excluded her from the lawsuit. So they're slowly but surely excluding the Kardashians from this lawsuit. And I don't know if Black China, like I said, she's not getting $1.30 from the Kardashians. They may settle with her because she being annoying and in the news, and then her mama up there making lives and stuff like that. So they may get a little change to shut her mouth, but that's about it. I told you I won't go spend that much time. That's all I
had. Okay. See you next Monday, I guess.
Exactly. See y'all next time.
This is the time to put in your PTO. Are you going to be here on Mother's Day for our Mother's Day edition? This is the time to put your PTO in.
This is not the time for that. That's an offline
conversation.
conversation.
We're gonna talk about that offline. I gotta check what my plans is to see if I'm gonna be sober enough to do the show on Mother's Day. I am a mother.
That you are. Thank you. See you maybe next Monday.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Girl. She did pretty good.
No, that last one she ran over. It is what it is.
Take this time, everyone. Share this amazing podcast. Share on YouTube. Share. Did you know, everyone, that you can put the link in your Instagram story? Then you can have people click on it. Look at me. I just dropped you guys a whole gem. So tonight is our part 2 of Pieces of Me, Lauryn Hill series. Last time was a rather popular episode, I must say. It was actually one of the highest we've had in all 82 odd some episodes we've had thus far, which is pretty freaking awesome. So I was proud of that. And shout out to my sister for the amazing graphics that you see when we posted. Danielle made amazing graphics for it. So I thank you because that embodies my, how I feel about her. So it's perfect. And we actually, last time we had the whole crew and then we had another special guest. So this time we switched it up a little bit and we have Flicker's podcast, which their season, if I'm not mistaken, happened to be about Lauryn Hill as well. And they were on here commenting and having a ball with us last time. So we said, why not bring them on? So we have Crystal, we have Matt. Crystal is a Lauryn Hill researcher, which, like, if she has a certificate or something, I need to find out how I can get one. And then Matt is a hip hop scholar, which completely intimidated my sister. She was just like, well, maybe I'm just not ready for this. I'm just not going to talk the whole show. I'm like, what? This is our show. What are we doing?
I'm stressed out.
She was stressed out for no reason. So I think we're going to have a ball. I think it's going to be good conversations. Before we bring them in, do you have anything that you want to say, ma'am?
Well, let's just tell the people what Flicker's podcast is. So Flicker's podcast is a podcast exploring the work and lives of musicians who incorporate spirituality in their music. Yes, I did read that right from the email. I didn't know what the podcast was, but I felt like I would have been on a tangent.
I'm correct.
Yeah, just want to make sure I get it right. So yeah, we can bring them in.
All right, we're gonna do that now. I wish I could do it at the same time.
Maybe you bring in Matt. I'll bring in Crystal.
Okay, ready?
Set,
go.
Hey. No reason to be intimidated. We're chill.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
So introduce yourselves to the world. Tell us who you are. I think we did really good, but go ahead. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, so my name's Crystal, and as you mentioned, I'm a Lauryn Hill researcher. That title isn't quite accurate. I just used that title because I wasn't going to call myself a Lauryn Hill scholar. So I did a lot of research on Lauryn's Unplugged album for my graduate thesis and sort of spent a couple years just digging into all things Lauryn Hill as a fan, but then became very interested in her spirituality. And I've written some essays about her and that sort of thing. So that's where I come from when we talk about Lauryn.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I'm Matt. And I also wrote on the Unplugged album. I presented a paper at a conference at a college in 2015 on that album. And then I've also written on Kendrick Lamar, on Kanye, on this group, this Christian hip hop group from the early 90s called Gospel Gangstas. And their album, it's really good. It's called Gang Affiliated. You should check it out. It's really awesome. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, check that out. Yeah. So tell us what you thought about part 1 of the Lauryn Hill series ORNOT podcast, Pieces of Me. That's a lot to say, but what did you think when you tuned in?
It was really great. It was nice to hear a conversation about Lauryn Hill that's not completely about bashing her and appreciating her as a person, an individual, her music, her spirituality. So I really thought that was awesome, because most of the time when people get on the topic of Lauryn Hill on a podcast or on something else, it's just bash, 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 bash. You know.
Yeah. And for me, I was hyped. Right along with like, I'm a fan, right? So to hear other people talk about their experiences and how much she's meant to them, the music, the message, the woman, the person, I was just like, yes, me too.
Other people get it. Right?
I was in it. I was like, this is great. I love this. So when Matt's like, we're going on, I'm like, bet.
Yeah, Matt, you were talking with me in the DMs, and my sister, I was, probably what you were doing with Crystal, telling her the same what's going on. So my sister's like, what? What's going on? Oh, this is great. This is amazing. I'm like, yeah. So it made it super easy and exciting to produce this. But what we decided we would do is, for this one, was to really dig into the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, of course. And I guess first, we've probably already said what it means to us, but you guys can start and then we'll just do that. Well, I guess I'll have to say it all over again. It's fine. I'm okay with it. So tell us about, I guess, where you were when it was released, what it meant to you, or was it something where it may have been released and then it meant something to you later on down the line? Crystal, I guess you can go.
So when it came out, I was like 14. I guess. And for me at that time, I had dreams of like being a singer, a songwriter, and doing all these things. So this Black woman shows up on my screen with, locks. And I'm like, wait a second, this is what I want to do, right? Like, she's singing, she's rapping, and I'm a writer. So I fell in love with the lyrics. And I was just like, this is who I want to be when I grow up, right? And it was the first time that I saw somebody that looked like me. Who had swag, she was dope. She was intelligent, she was using these words. And like, I was just like a little girl, like, I want to be that when I grow up. And then I think later on, when I got older and I had my own experiences, I began to understand what she was talking about. Like, I could relate then. Like, when she's saying, I thought you, care for me, like that desperation, I was like, I know that feeling. And so, just all that spectrum of love, like, I was like, she was telling the story of my life. And then I come to find out she was telling the story of a lot of people's lives. So, yeah.
Definitely. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, so she was my foray into hip hop. Actually, and I was 18 at the time, senior year in high school, when the album came out. And I had heard hip hop, like, I went to school dances, so like, it was the golden age of hip hop, and like hip hop and R&B was like everywhere at dances and stuff. But I was very much like a rock, alt rock, grunge type of guy, punk rock, ska music, all that. And I grew up like all on the hippie music that my dad played on vinyl and stuff. And so when I listened to that album, it made me reconsider hip hop as a genre and go, wow, there is a lot here. And it totally transferred my view of hip hop that as an art form, and made me go back and revisit all the hip hop that was created before then, all the like golden age stuff from like, the late 80s to mid 90s and stuff, and like go, wow, like I really just kind of like was dismissive of all this, but there's like so much richness here. And she was just so transformative for me in that, and just like digging into lyrics too, just like the spirituality of it, the depth of everything that she's speaking about just really, really, really spoke to me. And like, it's like her music has spoken so much to me that my youngest daughter is named Lauren. Like, that's how deep the love for Lauryn goes.
That's awesome. Funny story before you go, Danielle. I have a best friend, and we became best friends and everything. And I had no idea her daughter's name was Lauren, and I had no idea, but it was spelled like Lauren, right? And so I'm like, it was one day over lunch or something. It's a long time ago, and I'm like, yeah, why did you name Lauren? She was like, oh, after Lauryn Hill. And I was like, this is why we're best friends. So she's like, yeah. I had never thought to ask her, but funny story. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Danielle, what you got? I'm sorry, Matt. Are you not done?
No. You're all good.
When did I hear Lauryn Hill first? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm. The miseducation.
The wall, huh? Probably through your wall. Yeah. So we share an adjoining wall, and that we grew up in.
We're sisters.
Yeah. It's shocking, I know. And that was the first time I heard Lauryn Hill. I probably through my sister blasting. I think my sister probably was going through something, and I was like, she's really going through it. And she just kept playing that one song that says, "It'll be all right, T." And then my sister's obviously Tasha. So I was like, and for me, I was like, dang, Lauryn, she has really customized this album for my sister, because obviously she's telling her it's gonna be all right. So I think that was the first time I heard it. But then as I got older, my sister still was playing it. And so I eventually bought the album, like when there was like CDs still. And then I would just play it over and over again. But that was because I think when I was like in high school, I was like dating a guy. He was my boyfriend, but he was also everyone else's boyfriend. And so I was like, Lauryn, you obviously care for me. The same thing. I was like, why aren't you caring for me? So he's probably watching this right now. The same guy. So I definitely could relate in my high school time more so than when I probably was like, I don't know how old I was listening through the wall.
Okay, well, I guess it's my turn. She's kind of told part of my story, but mine, it came out around the same time I think I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Same.
so yeah.
Cool.
So it was life-changing to say the least. I think, but it's funny I guess I'm a little bit of a researcher and I didn't know it. So just knowing how much I know, it feels very natural, right? And it was one of those things that I started to research, and I realized that Lauryn had a lot of similarities to myself. Lauryn was like heavy into different activities in high school and super artistic, coming from a nice background with her mom and her dad, and it was just amazing to see so much what she had done and how open she was and transparent, because I want to say back then, our generation, that really wasn't a thing. Transparency wasn't a thing back then in 97, 99, 98. That wasn't, you don't say how you feel, So I think that was the dopest part, is that she was literally saying it. And then she was rapping it, which I've had like full-blown arguments with guys, right? Because they're always like, no, she's not. She's an artist. She's not. I wouldn't say she's like one of the greatest rappers. I go off. I black out. Yeah, I've had people say like, Tosh, calm down. It's really not that serious. And I'm like, I don't know if people do this to me. I have the woman's face tatted on me. You know how I feel. And then you tell me she's not the greatest rapper. You're tripping. But as a rapper, for example, nothing against the Little Kims of our world and other women rappers, she just gave us a different type of grit. And that was a part of hip hop that I just didn't know or understand it. And my brother was into hip hop. He's 7 years older than me. So it was always, like if he's 7 years older than me, then imagine you're talking Run DMC, like old school.
Right. Old school.
He said, what, Dan?
He's old.
He might be watching Stop. Yeah, he's a lot older.
Did we send him the link? I'll send him the link.
Okay. So he's a lot. Well, 7 years, and we're 7 years. We're 6.5. All of us are 6.5 years apart. So yeah, so it's funny that my music comes from a little bit from him, but I wasn't really into that. I was more R&B. So when I heard Lauryn spit like she does, it was life-changing. It just completely took me by surprise. And I'm like, wow, she can do all this. And then all the accolades came, and here we are. And as we've all said, I think at that, when you're in that age group, when you're in that teenage love feeling, you feel like your heart is like completely being killed. It's stepped on. It's done. So you're like, I'm never gonna love again. I'm never gonna get married. I'm never gonna have children. this was all for me. And Lauryn like said everything, and she just said how it felt. And then it was dope that it was spiritual too. There's a spiritual aspect to the album that I don't know if a lot of people touch on a lot. So and we come from a very spiritual background. So I think that was probably the dopest part too, is that spiritually I could go to church kind of in a different way. So all right, that was a very long answer, and I apologize. Danielle, did you want to jump in?
I just want to tap into the comments real quick. Robert, he has a lot to say. Thank you, Robert. We appreciate your commentary. Robert says, however, after 97 at State, she changed the Black female period. I'm assuming State is Virginia State.
He went to Virginia State.
Okay, fellow Trojan. And then he also was trying to dial in. We don't have that feature here, but you can feel free to stay in the comments. But maybe another show we can drop a link to you. But we have a great cast here today. So he also said, I wish I could speak, but I will type. She gave women a different purpose. And then last but not least, Casey says, similar to Danny, my older sister would play the album all the time. She introduced new songs to me and my mom, so I probably felt obligated to give her a chance and just fell in love. Definitely.
So the next question that I have here is, what do you believe, or what message did you receive from the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill? So as the album as a whole, what do you think she gave us? I don't care anybody.
As a people, or just personally?
As a people, whether it's your people, my people, culture, society, women, men. I love the fact that Matt has like feedback on it, because if you think about it, like to me, Lauryn, I think very womanly empowered. And so I love the fact that she's moved Matt the same way, from a different aspect. I think that's great. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yes, you definitely did interject there. You want them to go first, or would you like to?
It doesn't matter. You can go. I don't want to start, so you can go.
Okay, I'll go. For me, I will say, as the person I am now, in my life, I think that she just is the epitome of what a Black woman should be. And that's like unapologetic, definitely transparent, and also vulnerable. I think that sometimes women in general just don't have that opportunity to be vulnerable. We're always the ones that have to be like, go, figure it always out. But I think Lauryn Hill is just the kind of person that's like, these are my feelings, this is how I'm feeling, and it's okay to put it out there. I also just think that she is art. And so I think that it's timeless. So I feel like art is timeless, and that she's a poet. And so just from a creator's perspective, I write. And so I just think that I can literally just listen to her album and be able to like write a poem just by, like, she is a muse. She's just a pure muse. So I think if anything, I just said a whole bunch of things. She is just like, she's unobtainable. She's like a legend. I don't know, guys. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next?
I'll go. I relate to a lot of what you just said, and kind of, I touched on it at first, right? There was a sense of identity, like that authenticity, like she was who she was. She was a risk taker, right? Like she's rapping, she's singing, she's writing, she's composing, regardless of what people say. She's doing all these things, and she presents it to the world in a vulnerable way, but she was also very powerful just in her ability to be authentic. And that to me was inspiring. And that's what I think a woman like myself, or a young girl like myself, could look at her and say, I can do that too. Like, matter of fact, I'm going to do that. And I think she inspired so many people. And for me, that's why when I hear people say it wasn't a legendary, she's not a legend, she just made a legendary album, I'm like, I don't even understand that statement. I don't even know how that makes sense, right? I'm like, she did everything. She fused all of these genres together, right? And then she wrote brilliantly. Like, how can you do all of that on all the tracks for the whole album? So for me, it was just like, she's that higher aspiration. She was that for me anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Crystal said there. And in addition, I just all the themes of love, just all the different ways of thinking about love of self, love of a child, receiving love from family, romantic love for God. It's just all the way she captures like all those different expressions of love in this entire just like cohesive whole in this album just is so moving and so powerful. And like how she ends I think it's tell him that ends the album.
What'd you say?
Is that the last track?
Yeah, is that the last track? I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. I mean,
I don't even know. I just let it play
starts
over,
she starts with Lost Ones, saying like love of self, you got to respect me. Like you're trying to do this to me, but you got to respect me. And it ends in a place where she's like, I love God. It's just amazing the entire journey that she goes through in the album. And just
got a whole word.
So powerful and moving. Yep.
That's a word.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that sometimes people say she's like a hip hop priestess because it's so spiritual. Literally from the beginning, Matt, you hit it on the nose. From the very beginning, from the very first song to the very last song, even down to, like I was telling my sister today, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the song, not the album, but the actual song is just so deep. I resonated with it extremely. Just being raised in the suburbs and, not you think no, this is not against my parents. They did a great job, I think, right? but when you're young, you don't see a lot of things. So there's it is you're gonna feel miseducated when you get into the real world. My kid, he's 16, he has no clue. He's no clue what he's no clue. I tell him, and I hate to go there, but I tell him don't wear a hood in the store. I think of Trayvon Martin. I think of all these things. You're a black man, but he's a kid that's growing up in a middle class home that has no idea what he could possibly be up against. And so I feel like Lauryn was trying to tell us about how society was just so much different than what she expected. She wanted to be successful. She wanted to be able to be creative. And at the expense of all of that, everything else happened, right? And she lost love with Wyclef, and she just experienced things that we all experience. But I just feel like the album itself, like you said, it's almost like a story. I often refer to it as a musical Bible because truly, but truly, you can literally apply it to absolutely almost anything. Love and with family, love about your culture and your community, love of God and love of yourself. I think that was probably the biggest piece. And I'll get into the whole song thing in a second, but I'm going to jump for a second. So the song X Factor, one of the singles off the album, that resonates with my current life. And in the past, I used to think that it resonated with me. Like I said, you always think your ex or your love, that's it. But it really resonates with me now because in that song, Lauryn chooses her. She decides to choose her. And in a relationship, oftentimes people don't. You want to make the other person happy, etc. But I looked at it, I'm like, damn, how timeless is this? I was 18. I was 17. And my world was ending. I'm 40. I literally can shed a tear at 17 and the same tear at 40 because I feel like she understands. So I just think as a whole, this piece of work, and it's timeless. And it's probably, I don't know an album, and correct me if I'm wrong, or someone can say it in the comments. I don't know an album that can do that now. There may be one. And if there is, please let me know. I just don't know an album now or in the past that creates that journey from the beginning to the end. Yeah. So I do challenge everybody in the comments and here. If you know one, I'd love to feel like I can compare it and, figure it out. But I don't think I have one. Does anybody know one?
No, we don't know one, but Crystal does have a good point here. Crystal says, "I see it's covering up everyone's face, so I'll be quick." She says she has an amazing way of speaking, real and raw truths. Also gave her a hope to get up and keep going despite the hard times. Her music also allows me to ride the waves of my emotions, and that's interesting that she said that because in a therapy session I had, the lady was like, I no longer go to her, but I still am in therapy, guys. But the lady was like, emotions are meant to be like waves. They're meant to go and come, go and come. And so that is literally what the album is. And you can see it. It's like happy, it's like sad, it's like trying to figure things out. I'm confused. What do I do? And so I think that that is a very good point that she made.
Okay, so the second part of the show, we break down the songs and what we think. We can't do all of them, so I picked the singles and one of the others. So a lot of people don't know there's only a few singles from the album that were released as singles. So meaning like out, but which is stupid to me because okay, listen. So they say that there's only a few singles that were released as singles, but I don't feel like that's true because Lost Ones was on the radio all the time, but it wasn't.
Maybe they just got tired and was like, screw that, we're just gonna play the whole album.
I don't get it. Like radio singles, like the ones that are like supposed to be out, like these are the ones that she chose to be they chose to be singles. But I feel like that's not true because I feel like Lost Ones played more than anything. But maybe that's just what I was going through at that time. You know, I don't know. But we'll start with everything is everything. I don't have any commentary. Anybody else have any commentary about everything is everything? I think I do have a commentary that everything is everything applies to today. And I think it can apply to in the past. I think that it's just one of those society type songs. And you know what? Everything is basically saying it is what it is. So that's what people say now. It is what it is. And I'm like, that's everything is everything. Everything that she's saying is it is what it is. Any comments about everything is everything? Don't hold your breath. No.
I do have a comment.
It's not one of my favorites, I will say. But I know. I mean, hey, I can say that. I'm okay with that. I mean, this is I know it, but I'm okay with saying it's not. What's your comment?
I actually think that everything is everything refers back to the Bible several times.
Give it to me.
So for one, there's the essence of there being different seasons, and that's the change of season. So she says, after winter must come spring, change comes eventually. With every season there's change. Everyone knows that part in the Bible. And then she just goes on and she talks about possibly speaking tongues. I mean, she just goes in. Have y'all read these lyrics?
Yeah.
I mean, she really is going there. So I think that if you don't take the time to actually listen to the words, then you cannot truly appreciate. It's always going to be a fire beat because it's Lauryn Hill, but like the words are really what takes you there. But I just think that it's interesting that in this song specifically, I just see a lot of parallels to the Bible.
Yeah. In that section particularly, we had one of the contributors to the podcast that took us through that section and used it to explain all the spiritual influences that Lauryn had in her life, from
that's dope.
The church she grew up in, Baptist church she grew up in, to the 5%er influence she got from the Fugees, and then the Rastafarianism from Rohan Marley and everything like that. And it was really, really dope. I never thought of the song in that way before. Of like, oh, she's like listing off all her spiritual influences there.
Yeah,
I think that the album grows with us, if that makes sense. So now everything is everything means something different to me than it did then when it was released. Like I said, it wasn't one of my favorites, but of course it wasn't at 17, right? I mean, that's just not where my mind was. I was a teenager. I graduated when I was 17, or 16, 17. I was a teenager, y'all. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I was thinking about that. I had a game to cheerlead at and a boyfriend and all these other things. That was not on my book. Right. So, that was, now I look at it, and it's I literally play the album at least all the time, but when I look at it now, it grows with you. The album is literally growing with us, and I think that's pretty dope. Oh wait, did you guys know? Were you thanking him?
Yeah, he said I did well. I did a good job.
Oh, okay. Did you guys know that Everything Is Everything was one of the first commercial songs that John Legend was on as a feature? It wasn't.
Well, they of course know. They know it. I didn't.
Yeah, but like the world that we're talking to. I mean,
yeah.
I told my sister. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I bet you my mom's a big fan with John Legend. I bet you she didn't know. He was like 19, and it wasn't even for singing. It was the piano. So I think that's like so cool. We didn't know. That's an example of how she was like paving the way and creating this foundation of hip hop. And it's not just hip hop, it's neo soul, it's R&B. There's like all these different genres in one that are touched. But anyways, let's move on to another song, one that I love, X Factor. Talk about it. Who wants to go first?
Let Crystal go. Crystal, do you have anything?
Wait, what's the question? What's the question related to the song?
X Factor. Tell us about what that song means to you. What you feel like it does, shows, reflects, girl, whatever.
I got you. So X Factor is one of those songs that I heard it, I understood the subject, but later on when I had my experiences, and this is something I talked about on the podcast related to this song, like there is this negotiation that to me is going on. It's that place where you're in a situation, you're in love, you know it's not going well, you know it's not good for you, but you can't walk away. And you're almost pleading with the other person to make the decision for you because you can't. But it's just this negotiation that goes on in relationships often, particularly unhealthy ones. And once I had my own personal experiences, I knew what that was. So I heard the desperation in her voice, right? And I heard the pleading. And I just heard that process of trying to figure out a way to make this better or get this other person to make the decision to leave. And so it was the song that I turned on and wallowed in when things weren't going well in my personal life. So that's how I see that song.
What you got, Matt?
Yeah. When she
from a man's point of view, I love to hear
when she says like that she just wants some reciprocity and like repeats that over and over again, like just the way she delivers that vocally is just so powerful. Like she's just pleading, like I've given you all of myself, like why can't you give anything in return to me, like something, anything, crumbs, please, it's so powerful. Like I don't have to like identify personally like with their struggle to like understand like that sort of feeling. And I've been there in relationships too where I'm just begging for something from the other person and just not receiving anything. Yeah, it's just a dope ass song.
I think it's the transparency to it as well.
Yeah.
It's like you say, you don't necessarily have to relate or be in the exact same situation. But like Crystal was saying, you can feel it. Like when you listen to that song, you feel her. It's tearing her apart. She's like, we've got to figure it out. I don't want to leave you, but you're toxic as hell. Like it's not working for me. I love you so much that I can't. Something's got to give. And I think like Crystal was saying, there's so many people that have been in that place. And so once again, it's timeless because we can apply it to then, you can apply it to now. And just knowing that someone hears you. And I think if you really think back to when that album was dropped. Back then, transparency was not a thing, and women were not as vocal about emotional abuse and neglect. And so in this particular situation, she's a Black woman that's being vocal about emotional abuse and neglect. And that's not normal. That's not the norm. And so I applaud her for that, because I think it gave us some extra stripes. It gave us some, some wings, like, you know what? I can talk about it. I can tell you how I feel. I'm sure someone broke up with someone over this song. It probably was like, you know what? That's it.
Probably. Yeah.
Lauryn said that I'll have to put up with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that happened. Danielle, tell us about your X Factor experience.
Oh my goodness, y'all. This is still my life all the time. It's just hard out here for a single girl, okay? I mean, you can give anything your whole life to these men and they will still be like, nah, that's not enough. And that's literally, I literally just will play this all. Sometimes I have to stop playing it because I'm like, am I putting that out? Because I want to get this back. And so I'd be like, let me rest it a little. But I think that what gets me in the song is like what Matt says. It's like her pleading. And I think everyone has been in a situation where even if it's not a romantic situation, it could be like you're pleading with your father or your mother to like accept you. It's like pleading just in general to have a relationship with another person that is the same. Like I'm bringing the same effort that you are. You want it just as bad as I do. And I think that it can just go in 10 different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic or intimate relationship. But when I was 17, of course, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm like doing all the things. Like I'm making a go away to college kit and the boy doesn't care. So it doesn't matter, I'm over here making playlists, but putting new edition on the album. It didn't matter. So that was like me. I was like, yes, Lauryn, girl, I need to do better. Like, why doesn't he care for me? Obviously I care for him. So I think that it's like still timeless. I'm still having those same issues. And Lauryn is still here for me. So
she is, and we are too. We're here for you. For the sake of time, we're always over when we have good shows. We're supposed to recover 2 more songs, but we're not. We're going to pick which one. So I'll pick one of my favorite of the 2. If you can't pick, I'm sorry. Today's the day. You're going to have to pick. And then we discuss what we think of what the song meant, what it meant to us, and so on. And then we'll wrap it up. So the 2 songs, this is going to be really hard for me. So I'm going last.
You get to pick 2?
No, the 2 songs you have to pick from. You have to pick one of the 2.
Nah, I'm not good with that.
You're gonna have to be. I'm sorry, y'all. This is us. Okay. Lost Ones and Doo-Wop.
That's what you said. You should have ran this by me first.
I'm running it by you now. We're here. So Matt, being the eyeball out, tell us, you're the man. So tell us which one is your favorite and why.
Oh, Lost Ones, 100%.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, Doo-Wop is great. There's nothing wrong with that song. That's a great song. But Lost Ones, just it's such a great diss track. So to open the album with that is just amazing. Like, it's such a great diss track, and she's so forceful and powerful, and she just starts off the song not singing, just rapping and just going full force, and like,
I love it. He's
just
right.
yeah,
the best diss track ever.
Yeah. Doo-Wop is great. Like I love dancing to it, grooving to it, but Lost Ones, it just like she's just telling it like it is.
I agree. Does anybody not agree? Crystal, what you got?
No. I agree, because we're talking about the song. We're not talking about the video and all that.
Now Doo-Wop video now.
Right, the video is
So the video it's like right here for me, but the song though, I have to say Lost Ones too. It just came in so hard, and lyrically, man, I was just like, what is this? Like, I agree with everything Matt said. It's just a bop, like you're doing this in the car, you know what I mean? And you're feeling everything she's saying. She's so like unapologetically forceful, as Matt said. It's just it's a dope track, a diss track, as Mike would say, or as Matt would say. So.
Danielle.
Well, it's definitely gonna be doo-wop for me. Is it a generational thing? Is it
probably, I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know Crystal's generation. We now know that me and Mike. Why is everybody calling you Mike today?
Okay.
Get it too.
Whatever.
No, apparently me and Matt were in the halls together in high school.
Right.
Crystal, what generation are you from?
When did you graduate high school?
From when? From high school?
High school. Yeah.
2000.
So she's in your generation, yeah. So it's a generation.
Okay. So that's why I say that, because you guys are like, oh, she's going hard in Lost Ones. She probably is. I probably do know the words, but for doo-wop, I know them for sure.
Yeah.
And I just, every time I think of doo-wop, I think about when she's saying like, when she's talking about being a hard rock, but you really are a gym girlfriend. Hey, but you still defending them. And I'm like, yes, that's the whole thing. That's like literally, that's me. I'm a gem, still defending them. It's a disaster. But I actually think she goes hard in doo-wop. I think it's like a lesson. For me, doo-wop is the reason why for me, I needed the lesson that she provides, and that it's like a definite
So it was definitely generational.
Well, I mean, I guess I need to read about Lost Ones. I need to hear it again and think about it. But for now, it's still doo-wop.
What?
Tasha's frozen, y'all. It happens all the time.
Whoops.
Let's look at the comments real quick while she's frozen. Yes, girl, we hear you now. You back.
Like I'm
Some people say,
or something.
girl, what's going on? Come back in and come back out. It says, Crystal says, Lost Ones. The rap intro was everything for me. Tone 360 says, Lost Ones, Zion. Ready or Not. I used to love him and doo-wop. So a lot of people are saying Lost Ones. I don't know why. I guess I need to go back and read. Maybe I need to go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it in your car.
You really don't think it's
Yes, in your car.
Yeah.
The car is
Turn up the bass. Turn up the bass all the way.
Oh, I got something going on with my bass. My speakers is rattling. I think so. I know I need to go.
My record player can't handle the bass on Lost Ones. That's how powerful.
wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Even a JBL speaker?
do it in the house. Turn the music up really loud, and just kind of listen. You have to listen. So of course you already know my answer. My answer is Lost Ones. Of course. It's just to kind of give you an example. Listen to the first 4 lines. It's funny how money changed the situation.
Okay,
to complicate.
Okay, you're right. You got it.
Wait, I got another one. This is it. This is golden. I have to figure out a way to put this on a tattoo. My emancipation don't fit your equation. Yes. My freedom doesn't fit what you got going on.
That part.
That's it. That part. That's just the third line.
Yes, exactly.
Third line.
We have the third line, so we really need you.
She didn't come to play.
I know the song. I can't the words. I know the word for word. I know the song. I don't know. I just think that doo-wop is for me.
Yeah, but you know what? I give it this. I do think it's generational because I came from a place of the Fugees. So the Fugees was my introduction, right? Yeah, so with that was her rapping, her singing. So you listen to this first song and she's coming out the gate, one as a diss track against what we know it to be is Wyclef, her band member, boyfriend, whatever. And then 2, she's by herself and she doesn't need the Fugees. So as a fan, we like, whoa.
So it means so much more. So for me, I was like, yes, girl, you just lost one. So y'all were like, oh my gosh, Lauren's killing it.
And we were waiting for that album.
Yeah, that's what it
is.
So
when that first track dropped, it was like,
yeah. And plus, do you even have the Fugees without Lauren? I mean,
hello.
Wyclef and Paz are good, but I mean, Lauren's the star. Lauren's the star.
Wyclef is
the answer is no.
Yeah, Wyclef's cool.
I'm assuming your mother named you Matthew. The answer is no, Matthew. That's not true.
That's why they kept asking her, like, when are you going to do your solo album?
Right.
Everybody knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think going back to real quick, and I probably said this on the other show, I stood in line for 8 hours. I was 16, and my mom took me to a record store because we had those back in the day. Record stores.
Was it FYE?
I don't recall the name of it. I just know it was in Hampton, Virginia. And me and my 2 best friends, we stood in line for the Fugees. To meet the Fugees. It was to meet the Fugees. So I met Lauryn Hill and I met Paz and Wyclef, and Lauren had words with me, guys, and it was life-changing, of course, and I did not care that I waited 8 hours to meet them. They were not there, so it was a very long line, and we were in the front. It was a big old thing, but I say all this to say, like, honestly, let's not, in this whole conversation, we're not going to not remember the score. The first album for the score wasn't that successful, but the score really did to me. I still play the score. Mm-hmm. I still play the score. There's very classic songs that kind of outline a part of Lauren's journey that I don't want to say we can forget. Of course, the Miseducation is absolutely everything. And then we could go into the Unplugged, which is just like a Bible within itself. But that's just
today we were at church. Today we were looking at like possible locations, and it was a very intimate spot. So I was like, this is giving me Lauryn Hill MTV Unplugged. And they were like, Danny, come on now. It was great.
So I was out with a friend the other night, and then we're going to wrap it up, I promise. But I was out with a friend the other night, and it was really questionable about my friendship because he was like, yeah, that Unplugged album, no.
He's just not deep. He's just not deep. He's surface level.
I was like, look at Matt scratching his head. Crystal's like, erase the number. It's like,
I'm like, block them.
I'm like, what? I was like, what do you need? I was like, have you seen my show? The first part. He's like, yeah, but you guys talked a lot about it. Like, it was so great. I'm like, oh
no, he's not it. He's not the one. He's not the one.
I didn't say I was out with him like that. First of all, thank you.
Okay, well, just in case.
So yeah, that alone, I don't know. I'm a writer too, and so when Crystal said she wrote and Matt said he wrote about it, and I'm like, damn, I need to go write about it. Like, I need to go back to school. No, I'm not going to get another degree. I can write without another degree. Yep, I'm not doing that again. I'm done. We're not doing that again. But yeah, so any lasting words? Everyone gets a couple of seconds of lasting words. So Crystal, you want to go first?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having us on and giving us the opportunity to talk about Lauren. Like, anywhere and everywhere we can do it, we're thankful. But just, I hope people will listen to the pod that we did. It's a 6-part series. We sort of take this narrative journey with Lauren and cover love, justice, and freedom as the main themes. Really, really enjoy doing it. Some really, really great contributors. And we did it because we thought Lauren's message was, as you have said many times, it's timeless. The same lessons you got in 98 or 2002 are the ones you can get today. I think there are spiritual, social, psychological elements to it that I think we can all benefit from. So yeah, man, just tap into all music, all Lauren's music, and tap into the podcast too.
Matt?
So I just echo everything that Crystal said. Yeah, she said it perfectly. Just tap into the podcast, Flicker's podcast, and check out all 6 episodes. They're all available right now. so you can just binge the whole thing, and you'll get a lot out of it. Not just Miseducation, but Unplugged, and then we even Crystal and I even explore some of the singles that came after Unplugged, and talk about that a bit too. So if you're a Lauryn Hill fan, I think you'll really enjoy it.
I have a confession. I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. because I was like listening to all of it. Now I had listened to a few, but then I like got into it. You know, when you really get into it, you start to like YouTube things and get obsessive. So I gotta be obsessive.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, so I was really into it. So great series, the Flickers podcast. So you guys definitely check it out. We reposted them on our story a bunch of times. So if you are following us on ORNOT Podcast on Instagram, just click follow, subscribe, do all those things. Danielle, lasting words.
Well, we want to first say thank you guys for coming on and being our Smedes for the night. We also want to let you guys know in the chat that we will be posting the links to their episodes so that you guys can check them out. We are just now one big family, so that's what we do. We support. And I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate, I don't know. I think it's like really cool for different generations to come together and have conversations about pieces of art like this, and be able to see different perspectives. We weren't able to pick our own favorite song, so I'm just going to put that in there now. My favorite is When Nothing Even Matters. Yes, I'm doing it. And it is because it's aspirational for me. And it's like what I would hope for in a relationship. So I think that even though you can go through all of that, she still was able to give us something to look forward to. And I think that's important. But that's me. I love Lauren. Thank you, Tasha, for providing the opportunity to let me just be a part of that world. I don't know anything about the Fugees, but I do know that my sister loves them. But I'm just ecstatic that I get to have that piece. And so just super happy that we were able to have the conversation. Yeah.
So my lasting words, I'll try to not make this too long. Thank you to my sister, of course, and my brother, which is that guy right there, because I think without those foundations of all generations, that's kind of part of your musical journey. So, you know, you need the big sister, little sister, the cousin, and the mom, the dad. You need all of those inspirations. My brother was really hardcore hip hop. And I was not there, guys. My sister wasn't either. She grew up on what was the boys with the blonde hair and
Hanson. They just did it for me. Those Hanson boys. I mean, I just would play them over and over again on my Fisher Price boombox. I was killing it.
My sister-in-law still loves Hanson.
Really? I think they have a new album.
Oh yeah, they released new albums. They have like 2 Christmas albums too. So
wow.
Yeah, so
I love me some Hanson and Britney Spears, y'all. I was a different person.
He's a whole Britney fan. That's a whole
I
am. Let me tell you, Britney can do no wrong. I'm like, did you see Britney on Instagram? She's like, maybe she's going through something, you know, something. I'm like, no, Britney.
Wait, quick thing. Last night when we were at Topgolf, there was like a rock song playing. I think it was Paramore. And it was the guitar where it was like, and I was like, I looked to the guy next to me. He's our photographer at church. I was like, Ben, that's in the Britney Spears song. He was like, you're right. And we were able to name the song. We were like, I think it was like, I don't know. I can't remember what song it was, but I could hear I was like, I was feeling it. I was like, yes, Brittany.
Okay. This is okay. So anyways, what I was saying was, I think that all the inspirations and different music genres that you grow up around. I did love the Boys. That's actually a very old group. I don't know if you guys know about the Boys.
Yeah,
we okay.
Boys and I love boys.
Yeah, I know. So, but I do want to say I am so grateful and thankful that all all of us are able to talk about these things on platforms such as this, because this opens up so many conversations. And we actually, like, I was looking back and we have so many episodes, 80 some episodes, whatever, but that's like, my son has started to watch our episodes, and it's crazy because I'm like, we are like creating history. You guys have created history by creating the series and putting all that time and work into it. I tell people all this time, we did this for fun, and this is like another job to us. This has become a business within itself that we absolutely love and take really closely to our heart. So I thank you guys for creating history. It's you have no idea that, like, you're really a part of hip hop and music by doing what you did, and that's why we were so humbled for you guys to be up here. And I thank everyone that's in the comments. Don't forget that all of this can be replayed. Not sure what's up with you guys, but a lot of our people are like, I missed it, girl.
Yeah,
Just wait a minute.
They still don't get it after 2 or 3 seasons. It's still up on the website.
It's on the website. You can go back. We're on all. My sister says we're on all the Fruits and Veggies, Apple Podcasts. This episode right here will be up there tomorrow, but you can go back to YouTube right now and play it. You can go back on Facebook and play it. And guys will see clips, tons of them. I'm putting some stuff together for both of the series, so you'll get to see more. But we thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You want me to close it out?
Yes, thank you, Crystal. You guys are family now. You don't even know it.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Like Tasha said, make sure you follow us on all the Fruits and Veggies on Instagram, Facebook, all the things, all the platforms. We hope that today's show provided some gems and that we were able to pour into you so you can go out into the world and pour into others. We love you guys. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Bye, guys.